This afternoon, Secretary of State Marco Rubio was standing in front of cameras on Capitol Hill when he was informed that an Iranian drone had just struck the United States Consulate in Dubai. His exact words were, "A drone unfortunately struck a parking lot adjacent to the Chancellery building and set off a fire in that place. All personnel accounted for. No American injuries." Hours earlier, another Iranian drone hit the US Embassy compound in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. That building had already been evacuated. 2 American diplomatic facilities, 2 different countries. 1 day. And if you are thinking that sounds symbolic, you are right. Iran is not trying to destroy these buildings. The consulate fire was contained within minutes. The Riyadh compound was empty. These are not military operations. They are messages. And the message is, we can put a drone through your flag in any capital in this region. But here is what Iran did not see coming. While that drone was crossing the Dubai skyline, the Israeli Air Force was loading 250 bombs onto approximately 100 fighter jets. And their target was not a missile silo, not a radar installation, not a weapons factory. Their target was a building in the holy city of Qom, where 88 of Iran's most senior clerics had gathered to do the one thing the Islamic Republic cannot survive without: choose a new supreme leader. They were counting the votes. And Israel flattened the building. A senior Israeli defense official told Axios, "We wanted to prevent them from picking a new supreme leader." A second official confirmed to Fox News, Israel struck while they were counting the votes. Iran sent a drone into a parking lot. Israel sent 100 jets into the heart of the regime's constitutional succession. That is the exchange rate on day 4. Welcome to the Sandtable. This is briefing number 15. If you are not subscribed yet, hit subscribe and the bell right now, because I am going to take you inside 6 major developments that just changed the shape of this war. Israel has sent ground troops into Lebanon. Hezbollah has declared open war. France is sending its only aircraft carrier. And Donald Trump just posted the 2 words that slammed the door on any negotiation. Let me start with the Assembly of Experts strike, because this is the story the entire media is underreporting, and it is by far the most consequential thing that happened today. Under Iran's constitution, the Assembly of Experts is the only body with the authority to appoint, supervise, and dismiss the supreme leader. 88 members, all senior Islamic clerics, elected to 8-year terms. When the position becomes vacant, the Assembly is constitutionally required to convene and select a successor in the shortest possible time. After Saturday's strike killed Khamenei, Iran moved fast. A temporary leadership council was formed with the president, the head of the judiciary, and a guardian council cleric holding power until the Assembly could vote. Today, Iranian state news agency ISNA quoted an Assembly member saying the selection would not take long. They gathered in Qom, Iran's holiest center of Islamic scholarship, 150 kilometers south of Tehran, and then the Israeli Air Force hit the building. And Iran's Tasnim news agency, which is linked directly to the Revolutionary Guards, reported the building was flattened. Israel Hayom reported casualties among council members. Exact numbers are unconfirmed, but the building is gone. Now here is the analysis you will not hear anywhere else. Think about what Israel is actually doing. Saturday, they killed the supreme leader. Today, they destroyed the institution that creates the next one. This is not just decapitation. It is something far more sophisticated. It is constitutional warfare. If the Assembly of Experts cannot safely convene, Iran cannot legally appoint a new supreme leader. And without a supreme leader, the Islamic Republic's entire chain of authority collapses. The Revolutionary Guards report to the supreme leader. The armed forces report to the supreme leader. The nuclear program is authorized by the supreme leader. Remove that office. Not just the man, but the mechanism that fills it. And you have a regime that cannot legally command its own military. Israel did not just bomb a building in Qom. They bombed the regime's ability to reproduce itself. That has never been attempted in the history of modern warfare. Now let me take you to the second front that opened today. And this one puts boots on the ground. The Israeli military announced that it has deployed troops into southern Lebanon beyond its 5 existing border posts. The IDF called it an enhanced forward defense posture. Defense Minister Israel Katz ordered the army to advance and seize additional controlling areas to prevent firing on Israeli border settlements. The military issued evacuation warnings to residents of more than 80 villages and towns in southern Lebanon. The Lebanese army pulled back from the border entirely, withdrawing from at least 7 forward operating positions to keep its own soldiers safe. The UN peacekeeping force, UNIFIL, confirmed it observed Israeli forces crossing into Lebanese territory Tuesday morning, before some units returned south of the Blue Line. And Hezbollah's response was unambiguous. A senior official said the era of patience has ended. Hezbollah's statement, Israel wanted open war, so let it be an open war. They fired multiple rocket salvos toward northern Israel. One person was injured, a 64-year-old man hit by glass shards in the Galilee. 12 people were treated for injuries across northern Israel from the latest Iranian ballistic missile salvo. But here's the detail that connects Lebanon directly to Iran's command structure. The IDF confirmed that a naval strike in Beirut yesterday killed Reza Khazaei, a top commander in Iran's Quds Force who served as right-hand man to the Lebanon Corps commander. Khazaei was leading the effort to rebuild Hezbollah's offensive capabilities after the 2024 war. That is not a Hezbollah commander. That is an Iranian general embedded inside Lebanese territory, directing proxy operations. And Israel killed him with a naval strike in Beirut. The Israeli Air Force has now struck over 160 Hezbollah targets in southern Lebanon in the past 24 hours, including members of the elite Radwan Force. Overnight strikes damaged Hezbollah's TV station Al-Manar and radio station Al-Noor. Beirut's southern suburbs were hit without warning on Tuesday afternoon, and the IDF chief of staff said something that should make everyone pay attention. We are determined to eliminate the threat Hezbollah poses and will not stop until this organization is disarmed. This war now has two ground fronts. Iran's proxy in Lebanon is fully engaged, and for Hezbollah, the timing is catastrophic. They are being pulled into an open fight at the exact moment their patron state is being systematically dismantled from the air. Now, the coalition picture, because today it expanded in ways that changed the strategic balance. French President Emmanuel Macron addressed the nation today and announced that he has ordered the nuclear-powered aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle, France's only carrier, to leave the Baltic Sea and set course for the eastern Mediterranean. The carrier was mid-deployment on a NATO mission near Scandinavia. It is now heading south with its full air wing of Rafale jets and an escort of frigates, including the Italian destroyer Andrea Doria. Macron said French forces have been shooting down Iranian drones in legitimate defense from the very first hours of this conflict. France is also sending additional Rafale jets, air defense systems, and radars to the region, and dispatching the air defense frigate Languedoc to Cyprus, which should arrive off the coast as early as tonight. That is Europe's only nuclear-powered carrier being pulled out of a NATO exercise and sent toward a shooting war. The significance of that decision cannot be overstated. Britain continues defensive operations, Eurofighters intercepting Iranian drones, and bases open for American strike missions. But Prime Minister Starmer drew his line again today. We were not involved in the initial strikes on Iran, and we will not join offensive action now. The gray zone between defense and offense gets narrower every day. But Starmer is holding it for now. And then there is Spain. Trump announced he is severing all trade with Spain after Madrid refused to allow the United States to use military bases on Spanish soil for operations against Iran. Spain's government responded that Washington must respect bilateral agreements, international law, and the autonomy of private companies. A NATO ally just had its entire trade relationship cut over base access during a war. That tells you how seriously this administration takes coalition commitment during wartime. Now, the statements from Washington, because what was said today is fundamentally different from what was said yesterday. Trump posted on Truth Social, "Their air defense, Air Force, Navy, and leadership is gone. They want to talk. I said too late." 2 days ago, he said he was open to negotiations. Today, the door is shut. In the Oval Office meeting with German Chancellor Merz, a reporter asked whether Israel forced his hand. Trump's answer, "No. If anything, I might have forced Israel's hand." He said he believed Iran was going to attack first, and he did not want that to happen. Then came the line that reveals the most about what is happening behind the scenes. Trump was asked who might lead Iran after the war. He said, "Most of the people we had in mind are dead. We had some in mind from that group that is dead, and now we have another group. They may be dead also based on reports." The President of the United States is telling you openly that Washington has a list of preferred successors for the Iranian regime, and the bombing campaign is killing them faster than the White House can update the list. Secretary Rubio told reporters today that strikes will increase in scope and intensity in the next few hours and days. His words, "The two most powerful air forces in the world will take apart this terroristic regime and defang it and take away its ability to threaten its neighbors." That is escalation language. Not winding down, ramping up. And Rubio clarified something from yesterday that matters. He was asked again whether Israel forced the timing. His answer, "I told you this had to happen anyway. The president made a decision." He was only explaining why that particular day. The decision to strike was already made. Let me give you the Day 4 battlefield picture, because the numbers tell the story of where this war stands. The Israeli military has dropped over 2,500 bombs on Iran and struck over 600 targets since Saturday. Overnight, roughly 100 fighter jets dropped 250 bombs on a single leadership complex in Tehran that contained the presidential office, the Supreme National Security Council headquarters, and a senior officials meeting compound. The IDF said it was one of the most heavily secured assets in Iran. The Iranian Red Crescent reports 787 people killed. 6 American service members remain the confirmed U.S. death toll, all killed in the drone strike on a command center in Kuwait on Sunday. And here is the economic picture. Oil is trading near $80 a barrel, down from session highs after Trump announced the Navy would escort tankers through the Strait of Hormuz if necessary. Supertanker freight rates from the Middle East to China hit an all-time record, over $423,000 per day. That is a 94% increase in a single session. Over 1 million travelers remain stranded, with nearly 2,000 flights canceled. The UAE released its full defensive data today. Since this war began, Iran has launched 812 drones and 165 ballistic missiles at the Emirates alone. UAE air defenses intercepted 755 drones and 152 missiles, a 93% drone interception rate and 92% for missiles. 3 dead, 58 injured, 15 nationalities. The ones that get through still kill, but the system is holding. Here is what Day 4 tells you. This war did 3 things today that it had not done in the first 3 days. It destroyed the constitutional mechanism for replacing Iran's dead leader. It put Israeli ground troops inside Lebanon. And it pulled France's only aircraft carrier out of a NATO mission and sent it toward the fight. The fixed targets are gone. The Navy is gone. The air defenses are gone. What remains is harder. Mobile launchers, proxy fronts, a regime that cannot legally appoint its own leader, and an escalation calendar that Rubio says is accelerating, not slowing. Trump says it is too late to talk. Hezbollah says it is ready for war. France is sending a carrier. And somewhere in Iran tonight, 88 clerics are looking for a room where they can cast their votes, wondering if the next building they enter will be the last one standing when they walk out. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Tell me in the comments. Does bombing the Assembly of Experts change the trajectory of this war, or was the regime already finished the moment Khamenei died? Share this with someone who needs to understand what just happened. I will see you at the next briefing.